or someone can like when she's doing it, either just shake them, or if someone is there to kind of just like massage, kind of get the blood back. Because I often feel like it just get all trapped and it breaks the circulation. So like legs up the wall is great, waterfall is great. Yeah, and then maybe that will. But the water in the so they related that to heart, but check the heart.
Everything was fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it like gone? Did they?
Yeah, they give her medicine. Like, they didn't have to do anything, just to give her medicine to release the water.
Are we live? Okay, we don't have to talk about it. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, welcome, Bill.
Thank you. Good morning, Elmer.
Good morning.
How are you doing? So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming to 2 Floridian. We're talking today with Elmir Slavic. I know that we had a schedule change. We wish the best to Elisa. She's not feeling well, but we're going to talk about the housing market and similar subjects today with our good friend and somebody who helps me with my housing concerns, Elmir. And Alexandra, of course, is with us.
Here.
Always here.
Just always here.
She came with the house.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Elmir, for joining, especially.
You're welcome. I'm glad that I was able to come, and
yes.
I'm honored to be invited, so it's good.
Thanks. I thought we might start by giving a little bit of background. Earlier, you had mentioned that you were that you've been doing this market in Jacksonville for 30 years, and I know you're around 30 years old. I'm guessing by looking at you. So, so maybe tell me a little about what brought you to Jacksonville and and how that process went for you.
So we came as a family. My parents and my brother. We came. In 1994 to Jacksonville. We used to live in Denmark before Croatia. We escaped war in Bosnia in 92 when it started. And so we were refugees basically in Croatia. We were refugees in Denmark. And then finally ended up coming to Jacksonville. And this is where we started a new life in Jacksonville in 1994. We were helped with the Lutheran Social Services to find a new job, beginning to find that minimum wage jobs, to find apartment, doctors, insurance. So everything was new to us, school, but it gave us open opportunity for anything. So this is the first place after Croatia and Denmark where we had actually. We can do anything that you want. You can go to school, you can work, you can have your own place. So it was a big thing for us to feel the freedom that we had in Jacksonville from the day one.
Because you didn't have those opportunities in like Denmark? You couldn't like work or study? You were just like, here's your refugee.
Right. So basically,
stay there.
Yeah. So basically there was just a temporary, they were treating us as a temporary guest there, but not they gave us everything.
Very limited rights, huh?
Right. But you cannot work, you cannot go to school and stuff like that.
How old were you?
20. I was 20 when I came. Yeah.
So you left Bosnia when you were 18.
Yes.
Were you always? Did you have a lot of ambitions, things that you wanted to do, and ideas that you really wanted to see happen? Or were you
not clear? But I always wanted to have my own business, and always been doing everything. I mean, I only had one W-2 job for all this time, and that was the first job that I got. But then after that, I was always on my own, always doing my own business.
How did your family make this process? Was it a difficult transition? It sounds like it would be extremely
for
difficult.
My parents was difficult because they're they didn't know their language, and I mean we learned the language too, but it was just easier when you're younger. So for them it was difficult because they would do the jobs they wouldn't normally do, but then over the time, we got used to it, and everything got better.
Okay.
Like, you mean they had to take like a lower qualification jobs because they were, of course, professionals in Bosnia, but here they had to start from basically like,
wherever you can start, wherever you can get what any kind of job that you want.
It has to be very difficult. So when you so what did you start with first? How did you begin?
I got a job in an ice cream place at the landing, Jacksonville Landing. Okay. It was Häagen-Dazs at the time.
I remember Häagen-Dazs.
Yeah, so it was. I was there in '94, and I started that first job, and then after 6 or 7 months, I got management position there, and then I was. I was able to hire my friends and family, and we just we were just working really hard in that place and make good money for our boss. And then across the hallway, it was a fruit stand, and it was John Beloy. He owned the place. It was called An Apple a Day. At that time, I talked to him and said, "I want to buy your place. When are you going to retire?" And he was like, "Well, I really like this business. I don't want to retire." He was in his probably 80s. And then he had another friend who was working with him. He's also 80s. So 2 old men, and then they had they had employees too. And it was pretty cool business, and I always wanted to own it. And then in '98, he offered me to buy the place. And we didn't save enough money to buy it, but he said he's going to finance me. So I purchased the place in '98, and then I've been at the landing from '98 to 2008 with landing closed. So that was the probably only, or maybe one of the few original tenants at the landing, An Apple a Day, which started in '87, went all the way through 2018 when the landing closed. 18. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is when the landing closed. Mm-hmm. And then in the meantime, it was a pretty good ride. I was able to employ, again, anybody from my family that didn't have a job or they were temporary there. They will help. And also, so it was kind of family business. It was hard work, but it was good. I was glad that I did that business.
And you kept the An Apple a Day concept? So it was still a fruit stand.
It was fruit stand, but I added a juice bar and sandwiches and soups and salads, and so it became
caramel dip apples too, right?
Yes. So I
used to buy those.
Yeah, we used to have the roasted peanuts.
Yeah.
So those are like all original stuff that we had, fresh apples, and the vegetables. But then adding salads and smoothies and juices became more like a place to go to eat. And then we added even alcoholic drinks, where we had for events, we had these drinks in the pineapple cups and pina coladas and beer, and so those will be for the events, 4th of July or Florida Georgia weekend, or we had big business during the Super Bowl. That was actually the biggest event that we went through.
Yeah, that went on for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that was so the An Apple a Day was a great ride. There was a lot of good memories, a lot of people that we met, a lot of people that came daily. So it was really nice. But again, it was really hard.
I feel like I should tell Alexandra that in the same year that Jacksonville had the Super Bowl, they got an NFL team. We didn't have an NFL team before then either. So it was a double whammy. Maybe not the same year, but very close in the time. Yeah. So it was like a double whammy that Jacksonville got a team and the Super Bowl was going on and the team was doing well.
So it was a lot of excitement at the time about Metro Jacksonville. They had 3 luxury buildings come up, the Plaza, Peninsula, San Marco Place, Strand. These were in 2000s already, 2008. 2005, 3, they started developing downtown. Springfield was growing at the time. Riverside was growing. Everything was growing At the time, it was a lot of energy, a lot of excitement that something will be, for the Jacksonville riverfront. But then in 2018, this is when the landing closed. So it's kind of, it lost its central place. It lost like kind of heart of Jacksonville, even though it was not really perfect place. But at the same time, now when we have a boat parade, you don't know where to go. Where is the central location? Where is the central location for Florida Georgia? I mean, like now people are camping around the stadium.
People even ask about fireworks when the fireworks.
Yeah, so we don't even know where the fireworks. Where do you watch fireworks from? So that is missing part. This is where when landing is gone, that's where that all is gone. And then I started investing in real estate in 2005, 6, 7, 8. Everybody was investing at the time, so I was just going with the flow. And I got my...
When you say investing, you started buying
real estate, yes, yeah.
Commercial?
Residential, like condos, and it was a lot of new construction coming up, and it was pretty good deals where you can lock up the price, and then by the time it closed, you already have equity, and so that was my first kind of touch with real estate, which I always wanted to do, but I just like got busy with the restaurant, and again, it was a good ride, but then now real estate came where I got my license in 2008, when everybody was getting out of business. I was starting my business, and then that was kind of also good because I had less competition. It was less commissions, less prices, everything, but it was a good time too to grab all these deals and help people get the deals. They were foreclosed or short sales, and I was just working through all that. And then the latest boom was after COVID, when interest rates were low, everybody was buying. So and at the same time, Jackson was growing. We went, I think, from 800,000. I don't know how much is now, 1.4, 1.3.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So, St. Johns County grew so much. There was nothing but woods, and, from Phillips to the A1A, there was nothing there. Now you have 30,000 homes built in Nocatee area. And so
Florida entirely is having a boom, and Jacksonville is having a boom within Florida's larger
right.
spurt.
And then a lot of people just come for schools for the kids, and just not good weather, and a lot of opportunities and jobs, and I think it's really good. It's a nice place to live, and a lot of people that don't know Jacksonville, if they don't know where to go, it'll be kind of hard because it's spread out. You need to know where these little towns are. Where's Avondale? Where's the Riverside? Where's Neptune Beach? Where's Atlantic Beach? So if you go to these specific locations, then you will experience the best of it.
That's right. I think it's like I tell people sometimes who don't know Jacksonville, maybe they're not from the U.S., that it's like a metro area. It's more analogous to a place that has a lot of little regions put together.
Right. So it's like if you would just come to Jacksonville and stay in Hyatt downtown, you will think this is nothing. What is this going on here? So if you don't know where to go, you will just come back disappointed. But if you have somebody to guide you, so my Instagram is also Negotiator Jax, but also my website is showmejax.com. So my special...
Put that in the link underneath showmejax.com.
Like
yeah. So that I like that, and I would bring investors or buyers from California, and we will start on Saturday morning. Let's say we will start with breakfast, for example, in Riverside. Maybe the Cool Moose or something like that. And then we'll go to the market, Riverside Arts Market.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll show them a little bit of Riverside and Avondale. Then I'll go to, next stop would be, I'll just go to town center area, just show them, what's going on there. Then we'll just drive to St. Johns County, maybe Beach Walk, some communities there that are interesting to investing. Then we'll go to Nocatee, which they have a really nice presentation of whole area. Nocatee Welcome Center will actually just go there and they'll tell you all about from St. Augustine to the airport of Jacksonville, everything about it. They will just give you free presentation. Then we'll go to Mickler's Landing, maybe go to St. Augustine to have an early dinner. Then go back to Jacksonville Beach, Ponte Vedra, Jacksonville Beach, Neptune Beach, and come back here, and people will get a whole picture, and the people will be really surprised what they seen that day.
That sounds like so much fun. I want to join you on the next one. You can use my car too. And we'll have matching cars because our cars even look the same. So when we go and pick up...
you got a new car.
Yeah, the white one now. I got white.
Oh, you got a white one? Okay.
But it's still...
Is it still the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, when we go pick up investors, that'd be fun.
Yeah, of course.
It'd be like in matching cars.
We can do black and white.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, of course. But then,
I love all that stuff. That's why we called the real estate company Jacksonville Incorporated.
Okay.
Because same concept is that we want to really highlight Jacksonville and Florida in general, but Jacksonville specifically. Mm-hmm. And we really believe in it. So that's cool.
That tour will take all day, but it will really impress people, and it will make sale, of course, too. I'll find them a property the same day to invest if somebody wants to invest. Of course, if they want to live here, then there'll be more things to look, schools and everything else that needs to be looked at it. But for investment, I can definitely get deals sealed in one day.
I'm really glad to hear that people have value in that, because that means you get more of it. We're going to have more places like this.
What does attract them? What's like?
No, it's like national news. I mean, you can see Jacksonville national news. Places to invest, places to live. Jackson will always be in first 10 if you look at it.
So they're attracted by numbers to begin with, right? But then when you show
good schools
what it feels like and what it looks like, that's what you need then.
Because the original thinking about general Florida is alligators, bugs, and the humidity. You don't want to go there. That's original concept. Yeah. But then also Jacksonville, it's just Georgia. It's not even Florida. It's like so it's two negatives we have, which makes which actually you turn it into positive when you see what it is about. I have actually people from South Florida moving to North Florida because of the weather. The weather is better here than it is in Miami.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And just the prices in general.
And the prices, of course. Yeah, you can.
It's more expensive than
New York. And I prefer what we have available here in most cases. I mean, I know they, when it comes to things like opera or ballet, we can, we struggle to find a big enough audience where Miami has a bigger audience. But when it comes to so many things that we have available to us here, like even our restaurants, I mean, Miami's got great restaurants, but they're spread out in a larger area, where here we have these boroughs, like you were talking about. Springfield has one, Avondale has one, Riverside has several, and you can just go down the street and there's one good restaurant after another that are locally owned and operated. And I don't even find that in Miami. There's a few strips. I'm not saying they don't have any, but I don't find the concentration we have here.
But I think it's the same like with Jacksonville. If you go to Miami with someone who's from Miami,
it'd be better.
Highlight also and hidden gems, like that.
Sure. Yeah, every town has its own good stuff. But again, prices are really attractive. Mm-hmm. We are still underpriced what we have to offer.
Is that because of the land mass? Is that because of the available land?
It's going to get there, but we are like average a little over $200 per square foot, which city with features of the river and ocean and the good jobs, good schools, good, international airport. So all this stuff is good, and it should equal to much higher prices, and they're not there yet. So to invest in Jacksonville is good now because these prices are going to go to $300 to $400. So right now we are at $200 per square
So
foot.
$300 to $400 a square foot is that what you see in other cities? Like Phoenix,
Yeah, the big cities with these features, they're already there.
Of course, Phoenix doesn't have a river or an ocean.
Right.
But still, I know Phoenix is kind of pricey.
Even Tampa or Miami, just like if they have stuff like this, but they're much more higher in prices.
Okay.
Yeah. Even Orlando. Even though Orlando doesn't have a sea, the ocean, but it's still prices are higher there too. So
we have a lot of history here as well, which is quite nice. A unique thing to be able to throw on top of that with St. Augustine being the first coast and the Huguenots that a lot of people don't even know, but there's a lot of history with the French Huguenots that ties into the Spanish history right here in Jacksonville, Huguenot Park.
Right. So the everything all together, it's I think it's a good good fit for people to invest. I have people that have never been to Jacksonville, but they have invested. They have bought properties
without even coming.
Without coming, and yes, and I've been managing their properties, finding the tenants, doing whatever needs to be done. So it's basically hands off from them. I just have to call them, or they have to call me if they didn't receive the payment, or if something, just like if they do some repairs that are major. This is only time that I connect. I have people in other countries that live, like in Serbia, Bosnia, that they have properties here, and I take care of it, everything. So that's what I have been doing in the last. I started with my own, of course, managing my own, and then I start adding up to my portfolio, to my account, other people properties. So I'm up to like 60, 70 properties now that I manage, and that has been going really good. So just anybody that is looking to invest, I can help to find a property, to remodel it if needed, and then to rent it out, to find the good tenants, to keep the good tenants, to sell it later. So that's the service that I offer to my customers.
Well, you can't beat experience. I know for a fact that when you've got somebody who gives you, information from experience, it just, things go more smoothly. So,
yeah, and it's it seems easy. Let's say some people say when you manage property that's easy. You just find somebody to rent and they pay rent, and that's it. But it's actually gets much more intense, like from your own property.
Oh yeah,
and just dealing with people.
Yeah, dealing with people and knowing how to like. I have a actually friend that he manages his own property, but he called me and says my tenant didn't pay last 2 months. What can I do? What should I do? It's like, okay, well, let me contact your tenant. So instead of trying to tell them, trying to scare them, tell them, I will just talk nicely to them. And it says, when are you going to pay rent? I'm going to pay next month. How can you pay next month for this month? That doesn't work that way. If you need help, I'll give you a website where you can apply for help or something, so you kind of make it friendly. Like, I want to help you. I don't want to kick you out, but you cannot do that.
Right. Yeah.
To the owner. So I made friends with them, even though I'm hired by the owner to collect the rent. But I made to seem like I'm your friend. I want to help you, so you don't have to leave, or if you have to leave, you're not going to have eviction on your record, But just let's work this out. So stuff like that, you have to know how to deal with the tenant and be nice to them and put yourself in their shoes and just kind of work a deal. How would you handle this situation? if you are in the same position.
So would you, okay, this is kind of getting closer to the question I wanted to ask at certain point, but I'm going to split it in two. The first one is concerning you specifically. So what would you say, and of course, share only what you're comfortable with sharing. What would you say your secret of success?
Okay, it's not really secret. This is just like
Recipe.
Yeah, let's say recipe, because okay, you have to do whatever you promise to do. You cannot never. I mean, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna say something, I'm gonna get it done. I'll get it done. And you have to just follow up, get stuff done. You have to be patient. This is a personality type where some people are cannot be patient, cannot be, some are explosive, and so you have to like listen, be patient, and you have to be you have to listen to people.
So sort of like maintain that position of a witness versus getting all like engaged and involved with them.
Yeah, you have to listen what their needs are and meet their needs and deliver what you promised.
And do you think it's your character? You were like this since you were young, or you developed that?
So, I mean, everything goes from the childhood. You start. Everything is connected. You cannot just.
Is this
cannot
a common
happen
trait?
overnight. Huh?
Is this a common trait in your family? Sorry, I didn't mean
common trait now. So, in my family, a lot of people there were like my father was a math teacher and carpenter, and then my uncles were like in hotel business and a big CEO of the big companies. So it's not common trait that I'm doing real estate.
But that patience and ability to listen. It sounds like that patience, being patient, and ability to listen, and kind of, as you said, put yourself in their position.
Right, and try to help people. If they have an issue with their AC system not working, I know they're frustrated, they're hot. So you have to we've been trying to help this lady with AC system, and AC system's on the roof, and no AC company wants to climb on the roof. And been calling so many, like we have a home warranty doesn't want to do it. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna send my contractor. He's gonna install you window AC unit, just do not, or heat is not working. I would go to Walmart and buy the heating unit and just bring it to them, just to make temporary relief until we figure it out.
Yeah, so I think that's the right way to be, and it's. I wish it was more common, but I'm glad that you find this to be a component of your success rather than something that you simply do out of it.
Right. So,
force of necessity.
And when you have this, like 60, 70, 100 tenants, you want to keep them happy, so they will use you to buy a house. So these are your customers at the same time. So if you can develop good relationship with them and just tell them, I'll help you, then they will trust you when they're ready to buy. Mm-hmm. All these people, they have a good credit because we don't, when I screen them, I would not accept people with a bad credit or bad history. So they are buyers. So I have hundreds of buyers right there. All the investors, they're buyers and sellers. So they're going to buy another property, they're going to sell another property. So it's really good whole concept where you have to make sure everybody is happy, and at the same time, it's good for your business in the future. And they will recommend other people, and it just goes one by one. Okay, so I have a friend who's a realtor in Sacramento. He recommended one guy. Now I have like whole line of investors from California. It's coming right after another. Because what happens, they have a good businesses there. They have like mostly construction businesses. and they save good money, 150, 200. They have money in cash, $200,000-$300,000 sitting, and they cannot buy anything in California with that money. So, so this guy came and said, 300,000. What can I do? I said, well, let's buy one house, 150,000 down. Let's buy another apartment for 150,000 cash. You have two properties, and that's it. Easy, really easy. So he's happy. He has two properties. They're both growing in value. They have an instant cash flow, and that's how I help them.
Yeah. Did you want to say?
No.
Okay. So can we zoom out a little bit from Elmir's enterprise into Elmir in Jacksonville experience? So you've been here for
30 years.
30 exactly this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's an anniversary. Are you going to celebrate?
I didn't think about it, but maybe. Why not?
Yeah, have some ribs.
Why not find a reason to celebrate?
Have a Budweiser and some ribs.
Well, so you observed Jacksonville evolve for a good, 3 good decades.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you were sort of transforming along because you came, as you said, completely different environment, culture, country from the war zone, young. Anything you would like to share from how you experienced Jacksonville? I definitely feel love for Jacksonville. Also, since you never decided to move away from Jacksonville in 30 years.
Right, yeah. So I've been traveling to different places, but then, again, it's probably also in our culture, we don't move. I would never move if it wasn't for the war from my hometown. You just don't move. You just you have your own house. Yeah. That's how we are. You put, wherever you put the roots, and that's it, So this is how we operate, and only reason we moved was because of the war.
So interesting. So it was very traumatic. It's almost like a generational, actually few generations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trauma.
Oh, man, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I have no concept of what it's like to be displaced from my home, but I very much like my home, and I know I wouldn't like to leave it.
But especially if it's in your culture, it's
exactly.
You just want to stay there. So everything becomes that's not normal becomes normal at the time.
Yeah.
When you are surviving, when you're trying to stay alive. Mm. So everything becomes new normal when you are leaving one that's war-affected country where you have to think about your lives.
Mm-hmm.
So one example was they put us in a big semi-trucks, 100 people per truck, to move us. That was basically ethnic cleansing at the time of my hometown. They said anybody that's not Serbs actually, you need to leave the town, and there's transportation there, and you'll have to pay tickets to leave. And
they would just expropriate your house and everything?
Huh?
Just take your property and everything?
You just leave your house. I mean, you leave your pet. The dog is going to follow you and say, go home, and just. So then we were in the trucks, and we started going in the trucks, maybe just 5 kilometers. And then all of a sudden, they start shooting at the trucks. We are in trucks.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So then you say, no, they're going to kill us, So you just, you have people laying on the top of you, and you just said, okay, I'm good because somebody else is going to get killed before me.
Oh.
That's how you just
right. Yeah. No,
Yeah. So it's just really, but you just go through it, and it was, we survived, and it was okay.
And if you don't want to talk about this, it's okay, but did your whole family make it with you, or did you, it was anybody left, and no, everybody came with you?
Yeah, it was my brother and my parents, we came together. My other cousins, they were also stick together, but most of them get out. Yeah, some people were killed, but most of my family was okay.
I'm glad to hear that. It's such a horrific thing. I think that anytime there's a war going on anywhere in the world, I just want it to stop.
Yeah.
I don't take sides in it. My side is people not doing that. But I'm glad that you had the fortune then, since it wasn't your direct choice, to come to a place that seems to have fit. So,
Right. So it was a good thing that we end up here, that we like it here, that, that I feel that this is like my more home than my hometown. I go back every year. I spend time there, but I spend about probably 6 weeks in the summertime in Croatia and Bosnia, and it's good, but I still want to come back here.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, probably I'll spend summers there and most of the time here in the United States.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. I mean, it's such it's a different perspective, such a different view. I was born here, and I very much enjoyed living here. I emigrated to Europe and then came back. I enjoyed being in Europe. My time there was quite a nice time. And then I came back here. I was fortunate I didn't have the same experience that caused me to move. But I think it's really great that in Jacksonville, we've got a lot of unique factors that come from, I believe, having a lot of land. The way that everything is spread out does necessitate having a car, but pretty much every place in the United States necessitates a car. But in Jacksonville, there are some neighborhoods where you don't have to. You could live entirely in Riverside. You could live entirely in Avondale. But with a car, you can get to a whole metro region. And even when you go on vacations, have places just a few hours away, like Orlando, Savannah, all of the coastline of Florida is a vacation spot.
Mm. So also what I want to mention that since we came here as refugees, we were accepted really well. You don't feel that you don't belong here. You feel this is your home. Even when I was featured 2 times in Florida Times Union, and they used to, I don't know if they still have that. I haven't read newspaper for a while. I see some people are still getting newspapers in my building.
Mm-hmm. I saw it across the street this morning. I was amazed. I was like,
I see concierge is delivering the newspapers. So how many people get newspapers? There's about 15 older people that get newspapers. Yeah. But anyway, so it was featured in a column. It's called One of Us. So that made me really honored that I'm not born here. I came here as a refugee. I don't speak well English. But they still put me, and it says I'm one of us. So that was a big thank you, a big deal for me. That was they did that for me. Really, and without me asking, they just came to my business and says, we want to write a story about you.
Was it the Apple a Day or?
Yeah.
I felt that in my life growing up, when I would travel, sometimes people would say, "Oh, you're from Florida," and they have a preconception about Florida. And I said, "Yeah, but Jacksonville's a little bit different." I think that there are a lot of regions in all of the United States that maybe suffer from low education and some things that can go along with this. People forming preconceived ideas or
like
prejudices.
Florida, Maine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that here, like growing up, I didn't experience, much of that. I didn't. Now, of course, maybe I would, if I did experience it, would have been from the other side. It would have been people coming up to me thinking they have some camaraderie with me for being maybe sexist or racist but I have to say that I grew up, going to school in the 80s and graduated in the 90s. And I felt that we were separate from that. I felt that Jacksonville, even at that time, I felt like we were, not like those types of places. And when people had that mentality, I felt like doesn't really belong in Jacksonville?
Well, I think it's in general about the United States. I know what you're talking about, those pockets kind of like where you may be like, oh, he's not one of us, right? But in general, I feel, because I wasn't a refugee, but I immigrated here also as an adult, and I lived before that in Europe. And it's a completely different feeling of being an immigrant in Europe. Even though you have a job and you have a well-paid job.
But you're never
one
of them.
Yes. And here from day one. And I think because everybody realizes we all come from the kind of the same, like we're all not from here.
we all stole this place from the natives.
Yeah, well, that's a completely different issue. But I think, was one of those, especially as you come to a completely new land, culture, it's one of those very supporting factors that makes you feel, welcome at least, but also at home at certain point.
True.
Yeah. And I was like very different because I lived before that in 3 different countries, different from the country where I was born. And even one of them was the same language as I spoke in the country I was born, and it still felt different to me, let alone if you don't speak the language.
You don't want to call them out. You're like, we're just going to say the country.
Secret mystery. Yeah. No, I mean, we already talked about this, but yeah, we had a segment on this too. Yeah. Are you okay? It's like too emotional?
It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Like Elmir is memory lane. Okay.
I honestly wake up and quite frequently go outside, and I'm just really glad to be here. I feel very fortunate to be in this one particular region. And I mean, in this part of the world, this part of the country, this part of the city, I just feel very fortunate to be in, because there's a lot of confluences, different ideas from different vectors that somehow find a nexus here. And I think that it's possible from this point to do anything, to go anywhere. It feels as if there's this melting pot is taken very literally here. And it feels...
And I actually had a very interesting conversation very briefly with Kurt Rogers, owner of Bar Molino, yesterday, very briefly. He came to a class. And we were talking about, Jacksonville and things that happen in Jacksonville. And he kind of, which I'm sure you would agree, or at least be aware of the same facts, that it's almost like there's so much new money that is coming in. The new money that is not tied to, let's call them old agreements, new money that is not connected to the old money. And hopefully that, will shift the whole dynamic of how the city of Jax, is moving. Because it feels like there's so much talent and aspiration and opportunities, like you were saying, even 30 years ago. But a lot of them, it's like a hidden gem. Right? A lot of them get just choked at the root. Look at the landing. We still don't have, right? It's just what's going on there.
But no, it's downtown is the missing part of everything, because you have such a beautiful river, such a beautiful downtown, gorgeous, and it's I don't know how much, how many percentage I would say being used this time.
Do you think it's because there's is there, and I don't know, I'm not feeding a question. I just let's say the suspicious part of my brain makes me want to ask: is there a somehow a culture in the municipal portion of Jacksonville that wants downtown not to develop?
I'm not sure.
Likes it the way it is?
I mean, this is a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's, that's what I was kind of alluring to, old money versus new money that is not tied to the old patterns, that is not going to, that actually wants to this city to prosper.
Why is there no liquor store at downtown, period, at all, period?
I mean, that's not a defining factor of.
I don't know, though. It kind of, to me, it indicates that somebody's regulating what's going on, because there's all those places that sell liquor. You can only buy it at a bar, and all those bars are so heavily regulated, and they all have to pay certain very specific fees, which are really weird.
Yeah.
But again, riverfront, you don't have a riverfront restaurant.
Yes, thank you.
In Jackson. Oh. I mean, that you can come with a boat.
Right.
You don't have dock where you can dock. It like used to be like a landing used to be that kind of.
Or even like if you don't have a boat, just if you want to sit by the river, there's not a cafe or a restaurant by the river.
And it used to be River City Brewery. It used to be but everything that was like destroyed, and now they just build those apartments. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that will develop after that. I don't know if the people come and live there. I don't know.
And then what happens if you live in those apartments? You have to go grocery shopping in the really rough grocery store. I mean, like, I wouldn't want to live in nice apartments and have to go to any of those grocery stores that are nearby.
Well, I mean, the Brooklyn area is okay now. It looks nice. And there's a lot of apartments, two grocery stores now. It's going to be Whole Foods too. So that's great, but again, it's still like even the plaza. I moved into the plaza when they just built it, and it was an apartment complex the first couple of years. And then they switched into condos. So, but we didn't have a grocery store. We have to go to Riverside, or the closest one will be Winn-Dixie, which will be, like I said, the rough part. It didn't look good.
And now you have Publix, right, in San Marco? Is this the one you go to?
Yeah, I go to Publix San Marco, but I live now across the river. I live at the peninsula. I used to live at the plaza.
Where's Plaza?
Plaza is by the jail.
Oh.
It's the one that's in Steps. There's a really cool bar in there. The Plaza Bar is a very nice, small, like hidden gem kind of bar.
Used to be, maybe. Where?
Is it the Wells Fargo? No.
No, it's by the jail. No, but just right.
You don't know the one that looks like kind of like a pyramid and steps?
There used to be Old Courthouse. You know Old Courthouse? No.
I don't
do well. Thanks.
Well, just because when I came here, there was
what year did you come?
I'm just joking.
2013 and some more like 2014.
I mean, the plaza.
I'm sure I saw that. Maybe just like never.
Beckman Plaza. It's there's a little marina there too.
It's like a pinkish color building, mauve. No, it's not pink. It's like salmon.
But it's still a condo building. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a big deal around Super Bowl. They were talking about some celebrities having penthouses up there, and it was a happening place.
Yeah? And this is when you were there?
Yeah.
Did you feel it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good at the time.
Did you go to the party with George Clinton? No. I just thought maybe offhand.
Interesting.
Well, because Super Bowl, there were some
I was working. I was working 20 hours a day.
That's right.
Because we were like from the morning till like 3 a.m. Like, so we were just.
Yeah.
I actually was too. But that's because at that time I was working for my grandparents during the day. I was starting the tech company, and I was running a nightclub at night. But there was a lot of freedom in all those things.
Right, yeah.
Like doing the tech company mainly meant hanging out up at Fuel, and sitting there, and going to nightclubs is easy enough. So, yeah. Interesting, good times.
Do you have a team? I presume you're not a one-man show.
I'm kind of one-man show. I mean, I have people that help me with the paperwork and support. But I don't have a team.
And you feel like you're always like so relaxed. What's your secret for self-care? I should stop calling it secret because it kind of alerts.
Giving away all the secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I think it's personality more. Like I don't have a really specific recipe or anything like that.
But you also feels like you have time. You don't like. Whenever I see you, you don't strike me as like stressed. Like, oh, I have like 60 properties I need to manage.
So I do work all the time. Like, if I feel like it, I do work all the time. But it doesn't keep me in the same place. So it was last night. I don't even know he's my Facebook friend, right? And he texted me like 11:30 p.m. And I had to pick up my friend from the airport, so I was up, And he was like, I'm looking for a home that's 550,000 in the zip code. Like, and I just said, okay, I'll email you in the morning. But then, asking for price range. But then I felt like I'm just gonna search now. So I sent him like 10 properties, like at 1 a.m. And he was, I need to contact back. But that was like time I was like, I mean, why not if I'm up?
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely familiar. That when you own your own business, you just work all the time.
Yeah, you work all the time, but again, I like the flexibility. I can be in Europe, I can be skiing. I mean, I would go skiing. It takes me 10 minutes to get up with a lift. I would just get on my emails, check everything in 10 minutes, and then just go down, and then I'll go back up.
That's right.
Yeah, we have this in common. I went through a phase where I was getting very aggravated at interruptions, and then I had to remind myself, this is actually my job. I could do another job, or I can just start to enjoy the fact that I'm somewhere else doing. So the only reason it's bugging me is because I want to be skiing or something. And then I changed my perspective, and it really helped. And once I just changed my mind.
So when you think about it, yes, you could be working 9 to 5, sitting and not being there. But like if you can squeeze and get stuff done in your downtime,
That's the efficiency, right? Like, efficiency of.
Yeah, or if you can take a couple hours. So, like, perfect situation is in Croatia. So it's 6 hours difference. So I start getting calls at 3 p.m. there, if I'm in Croatia. So by 3 p.m. I get up early. I go I go on a boat. I go in the water. I just enjoy all day. And then at 2, I go back on the air-conditioned unit, the place, and I just get my computer up and just to get stuff done in that 2 or 3 hours where people are going to start reaching out and asking me. So for 3 hours, I can get my work done.
And then go and drop the boat again.
And then I can go to dinner or something.
Right. That we know is right across from your porch. Right across from your terrace in Croatia, right?
That's right.
Okay, not telling anymore.
Yeah.
Any more details?
We don't want to lose the amazing dinner spot. It'll be like Eat, Love, Pray. All the spots in Eat, Love, Pray. Our show's not popular enough for that. But all the spots in Eat, Love, Pray are now flooded with tourists.
Well, you guys should come visit and bring this, and you can do show from there.
Yes.
We have a portable setup, so we would love to. We definitely plan to.
Let's talk about this off the stream.
Yeah, I don't want people to know when I'm not here.
Well, Elmir, what would you like to share with
with
our listeners and viewers in terms of like if they are considering starting a business or if they're just new to Jacksonville,
or they want to reach out to you about properties? What would you like to?
Reach out to you about properties.
Well, to anybody, again, I was just looking today about how many free days we have in the United States versus like other countries.
Very little free time.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they're only considering employees. All these people that have businesses, they can figure it out and have as much as time free of they want. So that's the key. Figure out to be business owner instead of employee. And I know not everybody can do it, but that will be part to your freedom, because either you want to have a 15 days vacation in a good case scenario as an employee, or you want to have 6 months off
and just work 3 hours a day.
And and work, of course. So yeah, you have to have your own business. So how to achieve that? I guess you would have to be good at whatever you're doing. So as an employee, and then try to figure out how can you be boss? How can you start your own business? If you want to be cutting grass you work for somebody, how do I open my company? How do I start doing it for myself?
That's
Actually, the two Bosnian guys, they opened the lawn care company. They just sold it for like millions of dollars, $13 million.
Wow, here in
So
Jackson?
in Jacksonville. Yeah.
I didn't know you could
Greenway,
sell
yeah.
lawn service
Yes.
for $13 million.
Yeah, they just sold the company.
Mm-hmm.
But
How old was the company when they sold?
10, 15 years, I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
they started with the lawn service, but they have a huge business now, and they just sold it. And
Awesome.
so something simple as that.
Right, yeah, it doesn't have to be.
But there's so many different ways where you can achieve your freedom and also financial freedom, because there's so many things that you can do. So just hang out with the people that did it and just get advice. And I'm also really happy to help people to start their real estate business, either as investors or like hands-off investors, or I can help them be realtors, or help them be whatever business connection to real estate can be. I'm really passionate about teaching people and helping people to be successful in real estate.
That's really good. That's really nice. Yeah.
One thing I've noticed is the difference between successful people that always seems to be a unifying factor is that successful people are able to help others do what they do. People who are struggling and thinking, oh no, I don't want other people to come because there are going to be too many people trying to do what I do. These people seldom find themselves excelling or going further.
It's like that mentality of lack. If someone takes a piece and is less for me, and the mentality of like there's just an ocean of abundance, there's like enough for everyone. Yeah, because as you said, we're all unique, so we would all have a different approach, and it would succeed through some, other features or other avenues.
My granddad used to say, "A rising tide raises all ships." And some people, when he would go and buy advertising, that was a group advertising rate for all consignment shops. Some of the consignment shops were like, "No, we don't want to participate. We won't pay." And he would put in their ad anyway. And he said, "I don't want it to seem like some people aren't involved." He goes, "I'd rather just, I'll pay their part, because then people look at consignment shops as a good alternative to shopping retail." And he's like, "It's going to help us all out, the more people that come."
Elmir, is this correct? I know we're almost out of time, but didn't you organize a Bosnian festival?
It wasn't me,
okay.
but I was one of the sponsors.
I see. Okay.
But it's actually now it's become a yearly event.
Okay, because I saw that, and I had a prior commitments, but I would love to, because I have I don't know much, like in terms of food and.
Well, the first thing you guys should do, just come for the dinner at my house, where my mom is cooking, and she's here only for another month, so you will have first experience with the food when we do that. But then festival is happening. I think every March now.
Every March?
Every first beginning.
So it was in March. It was so long ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. And are you planning on being involved with it?
Yeah.
Okay. So definitely. So is that okay to share your social media?
Yeah.
Showmejacks.com.
Showmejacks.com is my website.
Is that JAX?
Yeah, yeah.
Show Me Jacks.
So that's the website where you can actually search all available properties in United States, actually, but especially Jacksonville, Florida. But if you put Miami, you will be able to search properties there. I have a license for whole Florida as a broker, but I also have a network of people throughout the United States where we can help anybody moving and selling property anywhere in the United States. So I have a network of people. And then Negotiator Jacks is my Instagram, Negotiator Jacks. It's an Instagram page. And then Elmir Slavic, Realtor. It's my business page.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Great. Well, you'll post that.
I'll put all those in the links underneath. Yeah. So awesome. That's great. Thank you for coming on today and sharing your. You've had an amazing journey and quite a. I think it's a compelling story because the challenges that you encountered in your life, you've built so much from the process. Not only does it seem like it didn't hold you back, it feels as if you've found your another home and built another home, and yet maintained as well, what you love and have of your Bosnian heritage, and then expanded to have a home here. So I think that's quite exemplary and something that we can take
definitely
a lot of.
Very inspiring. Hopefully, for people who feel like, oh, I don't have opportunity, I'm limited here. Like,
so when
you're an example of like.
But when I look back, if I could have done better, it'll be just hanging out with people that did it already. So if you want to be a realtor, hang out with the realtors. If you want to be, like restaurant owner, hang out with restaurant owners. Kind of get these connections.
Right. Yeah.
And just ask them, how did you do it? Because it shortcuts your success.
Yeah.
Instead of just trying to figure out yourself. But but we did most of the time. I figured it out myself. So it was slow build. It was not overnight success.
As I approach my 50s, I came to a similar conclusion, and I'm just now beginning that process myself. But that's
it's normal. But again, if you want to just give advice to somebody, just get network with the people that already did it.
Yeah. But you have to know what you want to do. You have to be very solid, right?
Yeah, but you can also just hang out with successful people. It doesn't matter what they do.
Hang out with successful people.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a question how to get access to successful people that you consider successful, right?
Yeah, like I have also that friend.
Most people I find that are very open, actually.
Yes, they are, and they are looking, like I said, they are looking to share, and they'll be. My friend, also a realtor in Sacramento, he belongs to really small country club, which I don't know how many, 200 members or 100. The golf, really small. He makes good money, but all his business comes from there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So just to be with this group of people, and so the only thing I do, I play golf and I get. This
is old school.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, I think it still works. It's just that it's evolved, and now the amount of people and what people like is quite different.
Right. It's just like different, same concept, just different application.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend, artist, and he, he's really good, successful, and everything. But I told him, you're missing connections, and then we talk about his daughter is going to go to school. I was like, well, if she goes to bowl school, then you got all these connections right away. Yes, you pay $50,000 or whatever it costs a year, but you get all these connections where people is going to start buying your art.
Is that the artist from New York?
Mm-hmm.
Is that here now?
Yeah, he's here now.
Plus, if I have kids, the one thing I want is not only that they have these positive connections, but if you don't have those positive connections, they're going to make negative ones. Mm-hmm. So I want to take the place and fill the seat so that you don't get.
So that's. But I'm saying, just from his point of view, just your daughter going to this school might make you successful. Mm-hmm. But of course, it's going to make automatically kids successful.
Yeah, but I also want to say, like, some people don't have extra 50,000.
They don't.
That's right.
They don't. But again, if you, so my other friend, she was a single mom, 2 kids, and she came here, made her life, moved from, and during the COVID, she was her business was not doing well, so she started cleaning the houses of the people in Ponte Vedra, and charging really little, like $100, $200, whatever, And
wow, that is very little.
I mean, I don't know.
Those are big
I don't
houses
know.
too.
Yeah, I don't know how much for it, but doesn't matter. It was not much. So, but she has her both kids in private school, and they were like, the people were thinking, they were asking, so you have kids? Yeah, they go. Oh, they go to Boyle School.
Same
Like,
school there.
They were like, they cannot comprehend,
Right.
you know. But so if you have a will, if you have like, I'm not promoting that school, but I'm just saying, saying
that's
that
right.
if you have a way to vision what you want to do, you can figure it out. You know, like she was cleaning houses, but she was schooling kids and figuring it out how to get that paid.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Jack Ma said, the only question in business is, what do you want and what will you give to get it?
Yeah. Okay. Wow. On that note, kind of harsh, masculine. Thank you again, friend, for coming. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll catch up the mother's dinner. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
it. But I presume it's all meat. Yeah.
No,
No?
not necessarily. No, she cooks really healthy food too. You're vegetarian.
Vegan.
Yeah. Yeah, she cooks. That you don't eat fish. No, okay.
Not even honey.
But I would eat what you feed me. I don't want to come to your house with my rules.
The
So
honey is good for you.
I eat honey.
Eat honey.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
eat honey. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not.
Here's your
that's
bowl
not-
of honey.
Yeah, that's not vegan.
That's my-
But vegan don't normally eat honey.
I know. Yeah.
But I mean, they're missing point. If they don't eat honey.
All right. Well, thank you again. We're gonna leave all the links.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks again for joining us, and thanks for tuning in. I greatly appreciate you guys for coming, and thank you,
And
Elmer,
thank you
for sharing.
being open for people if they want to have any like advice, questions.
Sure. Anytime. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't say you put my phone number too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
There
Sure.
you go.
Okay.
All right.
Then
My phone
Elmer's
number.
number is down below. So if you want advice, information, if you want to
Yeah,
become a
anytime.
realtor, or if you want to
If you wanna
purchase
invest,
properties,
yeah.
then you know who to talk to.
If you want
Thank
to
you.
hang out with successful people.
If you want to hang
Yeah.
out with successful people, exactly.
We figured it out.
We got you covered. One-stop shop. So thank you, Elmer.
Yes.
Greatly
thank you.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
have a good one.
Bye.
Are you okay?
Mhm.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
just
it's
got a
good.
little bit thoughtful.
It's good.
No.